I want to get back to politics right now and welcome in our first guest in the 7 o'clock hour. House Democrats are voting today to drop Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene from her committee assignments in the House of Representatives. She is a freshman congresswoman from Georgia. This week, after allegedly amplifying conspiracy theories about the 9/11 attacks and the Parkland school shooting in Florida. Our next guest introduced an amendment that replaces the congresswoman's name with another name. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Joining us now to talk about this, Texas Congressman and dentist Brian Babin. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for being with us. I applaud you for doing this. It takes courage to do that. I'm just wondering why you didn't add several other names like Ayanna Pressley, who has called Republican members of the GOP white supremacists, Eric Swalwell, who a few years ago was sleeping with a Chinese spy, and how about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's also calling members of the GOP in the House white supremacists and white nationalists?
Well, exactly. You're exactly right. We could have substituted a number of Democrat names. And I just think that the Democrats are venturing out onto very, very thin ice here because they're not going to be in the majority forever. And they need to realize that not allowing the minority party to take care of their own internal problems is a very, very bad precedent and a step to take that will come back and bite them eventually. And quite frankly, it's like two football teams, and the opposing side decides they don't like what one of the other opposing players says, so they take him out of the lineup. It's unprecedented and it's dangerous, and we should be allowed to take care of our own folks. That's exactly what we will wind up doing. But it looks to me like, because I went before the Rules Committee yesterday to make my amendment. And talked with the Democrats. They think that they're doing the right thing. I'm telling them they have a double standard. If it's good enough for the goose, it's good enough for the gander. And I don't agree with everything that Ms. Greene has said. I'm not sure that she even has said a lot of the things that she's alleged to have said. But I do have a list of things that Ms. Omar has said since she's been elected. And I think some of them are just over the top. And so I would never have brought this amendment up had they not been doing this to one of our own and trying to take out one of the opposing party's team members from there. She was a duly elected. I mean, she needs to be accountable to her constituents. Yeah. The 750,000 people in her Georgia district are the ones that should make that decision. Or it should be within her own conference, the Republican conference, not the opposing party that happens to be in the majority at the time.
Congressman, I think so many people out there agree with you right now. I know you represent 9 counties in parts of southeast Texas, the Lone Star State. I'll tell you what, don't forget Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a freshman in the House. I understand that. She got 75% of the vote. Her constituents knew some of the conspiracy theories that were out there. They knew all that when they went to the polls on November 3rd, and she won, 75% of the vote is pretty darn significant. So, her constituency has spoken, and that should speak for itself. But the bar is so low now, with not only censuring members of the House and Senate and removing them from committees, but how about impeachment? Congressman, I was under the impression that the point of impeachment was to remove somebody from office, but apparently I missed something and that's changed.
Hey, I looked it up this morning. The definition of impeachment is to charge a public office holder with misconduct. Mr. Trump is no longer a public office holder. Right. And it is absurd, and it is divisive, and it is absolutely the wrong thing to be doing at this point in time when President Biden, he talks out of one side of his mouth about the unity that needs to be had in this country, and we all need to walk together and do things for the American people, and then out of the other side of his mouth, he pushes this kind of stuff. And Ms. Pelosi and Schumer are doing the exact same thing. This is not what this country needs at this point in time. President Trump really think he did. He was actually in the middle of his speech, blocks and blocks away when the breach of the Capitol occurred. He was telling his supporters to go peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol And I don't think that you can actually tag him with this, even if he were still in office. He has gotten no due process. There's no way in this country the Constitution mandates that you get due process, that you have witnesses, that you can look at your accusers in the eye and be charged with something that at least has some evidence, and we're not seeing that. And this is number 2.
Yeah, it's number 2 in 13 months, which is unbelievable. Congressman, I want to quickly ask you about our executive order in chief. President Biden has signed over 40 executive orders. I was kind of under the impression that the cleanest way to transport energy anywhere on the planet would be via pipeline versus doing it by ship, freighter, train, or truck. President Biden has ended construction of the border wall, which affects your state. He has ended the Keystone Pipeline, which eliminates thousands of jobs. And he now wants a clear path to citizenship for 11 million foreign nationals. Let's be honest. The plan here is to try and turn Texas blue at some point and make it so there's never a Republican president again.
There is no question about that at all. The agenda he has is the agenda of the radical wing of the Democratic Party. And that's exactly what they want to do. They want to allow as many people into this country illegally, put them on a path to citizenship, and they will vote overwhelmingly for the Democrats. That's the bottom line. That is the absolute bottom line here. And, you know, we had a great, I represent more petrochemical refining facilities than anyone else in this country. I've got 4 ports, the Houston Ship Channel. I've got the Port of Houston. Yeah. And the executive orders that this president has come out are just overwhelmingly the most of any president in history, putting so many people out of work, especially hurting my section of the state, the 9 counties that I represent, and quite frankly, many other states that are oil and gas producers. And it's pie in the sky to try to shut down oil and gas and tell us that we need to get on electric cars. Wind and solar, it just cannot be done. That's an impossibility.
Congressman, I appreciate your time. We're very tight on time. I will say you make a great point. The vice president and president are both from the coast, Delaware and California, respectively. They don't care about the flyover states. They surely don't care about the good people in the middle of this country that make America great, and especially the people in Texas in the 36th district. Thank you so much, Congressman, for your time. We appreciate it. Come back and see us soon.
Thank you, Rob. God bless.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.